Hello! I'd like to tell you about a big problem that I had and how Canvas grading helped me solve it. Dr. Taft has invited me to share this with you in hopes that it might be something that could help solving grading issues in your courses and maybe even in clinics. My problem: IPC 1 and 2 and Capstone are clinical courses that need student observational assessment, much like clinic, but also has some components like assisting rotation and school-based prevention that were more experiential in nature, requiring reflection papers for assessment. And then let's add in the didactic components of these courses that have written assessments like tests and quizzes, and a component of preclinical hand skills needing hand skill evaluation. Basically, multiple faculty teaching very different subjects using different assessments, generating hundreds of grade forms that would have to be collected, recorded, and then weighted to become a final grade. To make things worse, the grading would not always be given to 100 students at the same time. IPC has times when it has all 100 students, and then other times when students are broken up into groups, like clinic is. And there are rotations starting at different times for different groups. This had the potential to be a grading and scheduling nightmare. So I got together with some of the best minds in the school when it comes to assessments. Ahmed Sabah, Diane Sullivan, Truman Wayne, Dana English, my entire IPC team, and lots of faculty and students. IPC began to brainstorm. We liked what Indo had done with their electronic forms, but we wondered, how could we make it easy to use on the clinic floor and something that would also work with all of our other assessments? We were definitely deciding that we wanted some type of electronic grading system, and here would be the requirements that we wanted. First of all, we wanted to make sure that the grading technology we worked with would allow us to pass accreditation. This had to be number one goal. At a freshman level, we are responsible for showing that our students have been assessed and had successfully acquired a foundation level of the Code of Standards and school competencies. And then in our sophomore IPC courses, they would need to show that they were assessed and successfully acquired emerging competency at a level of a DS2 in these areas. So we needed a program that would allow us to track each competency and see all the assessments that it was assessed in and to find out what was the outcome. We had to know this as a course and even on an individual student level. We knew other schools had done this, but all the programs they used were very expensive, and IPC had no money. We also wanted to comply with the university reporting of assessments for each of our courses. This meant that we would need to track all the major intended learning objectives, the MILOs, and be able to see where each was assessed and then looked at how the class did, the outcome. As a whole class, we would look at those outcomes that were good and successful for each MILO. But we would also look at the ones that maybe we needed a little bit of work with. We would report those weaknesses and create a plan of how we would address those weaknesses and make our course better. We also wanted to be able to track important outcomes that were more specific, like, was the student prepared, or was the student able to accurately measure probing depths? We wanted to share a system that could communicate with other modules of the course as well. So if preparedness was evaluated in our perio module, and it was also evaluated in our radiology module, we'd like to know if the student was performing in both of those well. We also wanted to see, maybe amongst all of our courses, if that shared outcome was something that the student was doing well. It was important, especially if there was someone who was struggling in an area. And we could see that it wasn't just when they came to radiology that they had the issue. Whatever we picked as far as electronic grading, we would have to be able to house many kinds of assessment tools. It would have to be able to record grades in a gradebook instantly without the use of paper and spreadsheets, give instant feedback to students and the course director, allow for recording comments that would instantly save as a written comment, allow for overriding a grade in case a course director needed to do so, or regrading right there at the moment if a faculty made a mistake in that grading. We'd also want it to allow course and module directors to easily make changes to their assessments or create new ones fast and easy. But we also wanted lots of support. We wanted any faculty member to be able to make a phone call very quickly and get help if they had a problem, 24/7. And we wanted it to be easy for use for the faculty giving that assessment. Because let's face it, if it's not easy to use, people don't use it. Communication was a very important thing as well. We wanted students that were being graded to know what their grade was going to be based on and how it was calculated. So we looked and looked, and we found that tool. It was Canvas.
Created using Powtoon.